Hi guys, it's Kelly here, and I am back with another video. Today we are going to be talking about alcohol inks. I'm going to show you some products from Pretty Pink Posh. I didn't end up using any of the die cuts. They just didn't end up fitting with the cards, but ultimately this video, if you've been following me on Instagram, you know I shared some alcohol ink backgrounds probably like 2 weeks ago because honestly I just have not had time to make the cards. And I really had been bucking the trend for quite some time. I had seen a bunch of videos from people and I was like, they're really beautiful backgrounds, but I don't really know what to do with them and what am I going to do with them? Then my friend Jen Shirkus, if you don't know who that is, I will link her below on YouTube as well as on the blog. Go check her out. She's awesome, wonderful. But anyway, so she sent me the Snapchat. We Snapchat like every day. And it was like a sneak peek of a card she had made for one of her classes. She travels all over and teaches because she's totally awesome. And anyway, there was gold foil in the alcohol ink background. Not like gold mixative or silver mixative, like gold foil. And I was like, girl, how you get that gold foil on there? Like, I need to know the answer to that question. So that's what hooked me. The Jen Shirkus. I blame her completely. So I haven't used my alcohol inks. I have owned them forever. By the way, they don't go bad because I've owned them for forever, and I had to dig them out of my crafty stash, and I forgot what the colors looked like. So this is me just kind of playing around with how they move and adding the what is it called? It is called an actual mixative. The alcohol mixative is different than just regular alcohol. And so it turns out I totally had the things to make the card that Jen had sent me the picture of because of my crafty friends. I would not have bought this stuff. I'm not even going to lie, guys. I would not have bought it. I'm basically with alcohol ink backgrounds. I'm just, you're just like dropping on the color. I'm adding a little bit of mixative. I really wanted a rainbow background. And so this is just me playing. And I played a lot. I played until I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, girl, you need to go to bed. But it was so much fun to keep making them. And I had to stop myself. Basically, what stopped me was the thought that my son would really, really like to do this. And I only had 10 pieces of Yupo paper. So that's first things first. The Yupo paper is a glossy cardstock. And you do need glossy cardstock to do the alcohol ink backgrounds. Also, this little straw trick to move the pigment around. Jennifer McGuire for the win. I'm sure you've probably seen her videos. She's done a ton of beautiful, beautiful alcohol ink backgrounds. But anyway, so I was just making these and playing around with them, and I would not have, I just wouldn't have purchased these items. Here's how I got the items, which ended up being a blessing. I have a bunch of crafty friends. We get to see each other a very few times a year, and that's really only if our schedules match up. And when we get together, we do a white elephant game. If you don't know what a white elephant game is, basically everybody brings a gift. All of the gifts go into the middle. And then usually it's like whose birthday is the closest or, whatever. And that one person starts and they pick a gift. And then the second person can either steal the gift from the first person or they can take a gift from the middle. We always have like a little caveat, which is you can pay for the gift. So the gift can be stolen twice. After it's stolen twice, you're done. The third time you can steal it, but then we always pick like a charity or something that we want to donate to. And then so you can pay $50, you can donate to that charity, and then you can own it, basically. So anywho, this is how I moved them after I did them. So I did the first one and then I used just like scrap copy paper. Oh my gosh. But so that's how I moved them. I slid it underneath it and moved it because I thought it was I didn't see, all I had was a Snapchat to go off of. And I did kind of look at some videos. Jessica Frost Ballas, another one of my girlfriends who's just endlessly talented. She has a video on this. And so I did watch a couple of other videos. One of the things that I saw on Pinterest, and this just goes to show you that everything you see on Pinterest is not achievable. It's like lies. Some of the stuff can come out cute, but some of it, not so much. But anyway, I had seen some people where they had done they did flowers with alcohol inks. And I was like, well, that would be really cool because I love me some flowers. It was a fail, but that's okay because alcohol inks are super forgiving and you can just kind of keep working with it until you get something that you're happy with. So that's what I did here. But anywho, so playing the white elephant game, you just keep going around, and basically the fun of it is not, the gift is fun. I personally like buying my gift. Like, I like to see who ends up with my gift and if that's something that they really wanted or had or they're excited about. Like, that's the fun. And then also the game of it, like the teasing each other and laughing and stealing the other gifts. And that's really the fun of playing the game, not so much what you walk away with. And so we've been playing this game for quite a few years. In one of them, I ended up with this Yupo paper. And what did it come with? Something else. I can't remember what else it came with. It was just like kind of like a mixed bag of things. And I was like, okay, not really sure what I'm going to do with this, but I will, keep it in my arsenal. Not so much. I think Jennifer actually told me, like, you can do cool things with Copics. I just never really experimented because I wasn't really into breaking out of the box. Now I'm totally into breaking out of the box. Speaking of breaking out of the box, this is what I'm flicking on here with my paintbrush is just 90% alcohol. And it reacts differently with the alcohol inks. It almost like it removes the pigment where the alcohol mixative from Ranger just moves it around. It just adds more liquid and helps those colors flow. The alcohol actually seems to lighten the pigments. So you can see up until this point, we have not done any gold foiling, basically because I didn't know how long to wait. All I had was this really just a Snapchat photo. And so anyway, just putting on this one, I wanted to be more of like purples, blues. I put a little bit of red in there, just to, I don't know. I guess I had tried the rainbow. I wasn't really loving the second one that I did. But that's okay. So anyway, the Yupo paper I had gotten and wasn't really sure what to do with it. I think Jennifer had told me you could do cool things with Copics. Hadn't tried that out. We covered this. And then I think it was last time we got together, Susan Opal had gotten kind of like her own little grab bag. And in it was this, what is this? The iCraft Deco foil. And she was like, I already have this. Take this home. And I was like, Susan, I don't have a mink. I don't have a foil machine. I'm not going to use it. And she was like, I already have it. There's other ways to use it. You'll figure out a use for it. Take it with you. Because crafters are just givers. That's what they are. And so I did. So I took it with me, and then it sat on my shelf, and I didn't do anything with it. And then when she sent me that photo, I was like, I realized I have everything that I need to do this card. Not even because of my own doing. So basically the deal is when you do the alcohol backgrounds, okay, you get like these puddles of color that stay sticky. And in order to get rid of the stick, some brilliant mind, and I don't know who it was, where this started at, put some gold foil or silver foil or whatever the foil sheets are on it. And then when they peeled it away, the foil stuck to the sticky part and made it beautiful. Now you can see here, this is the first background that I did. I have clearly waited too long. I have very minimal foil that is sticking to the sticky areas. Say that 3 times fast. But basically what you want to do is you just put it on there and then you kind of like burnish it with, I've seen people do it with like scissors or with like the backs of palette knives. I just used my finger and that totally worked fine. And then if there's an area where you feel like more should have stuck, you can go back in and do it. Here's the second background. We're going to do this one. And this one, when I put it on, I could tell that there were some areas that were not completely dry. And so I do think that I got a little bit of purple on the background this time around. There's definitely going to be a time later in the video where I definitely do. But so you can see in the top right-hand corner, like I got a lot of really good foiling. They just look like geodes. They're just, it's such a beautiful look. And because you have no control over it, it's completely awesome because it's totally random. And it's like exciting. So this one, I definitely did not wait long enough. It was still wet in some areas, but the flip side of that is it was the best foiling that I had gotten up until this point. So it was like trying to find that sweet spot. So you can see I got purple and blue like all over the back of my foil. It oozed out the side on the right hand side, but I had the most foil stick at this point. So basically what I found was waiting about a minute and a half seemed to be kind of that sweet spot for me. So you saw me do the purple and the blue, and then this one's going to be like yellows, greens, teals, blues. And then these pieces of paper are, I think they're 5x7. I'm pretty sure they're 5x7. So you can get multiple backgrounds out of them. And you probably saw in the beginning, like all of the cards I made. So many cards. I made 9 cards with these backgrounds. Basically because I couldn't stop making the backgrounds because it was just so much fun to play with the alcohol inks. But anywho, so a lot of times I did move it around with the straw. The way that my camera is set up, basically it's like a manufactured camera stand, because I told you guys I am cheap, and you're going to see how cheap I am by the time this video is over. But anyway, it's a camera stand, and it works for me. That's built out of PVC pipe. My husband built it for me off a tutorial that we found on YouTube, and that holds my camera, but it also means that it sits on my desk. So I have this huge like bar, and then my camera being plugged in so that it's on the charger. Oh, wait, here, disaster is going to strike. We'll come back to this. So this one, I definitely did not wait long enough. I was still trying to figure out what the timing was. This is before I doped out that it was about a minute and a half. And so I put the gold foiling on. And now remember, I have that purple on the back. Alcohol inks reactivate each other, PPS. And so what I got was no gold foiling and a huge mess. But alcohol inks are very forgiving because that mixative moves the pigment around. And so I just added more pigment and more mixative and saved the background. So this is something where you don't really have to worry about wasting any products. Like you can totally work with this until you find something that you love. You probably could even. I didn't have to do this, but knowing what I know about that gold foil, we'll talk about that in a minute. You could probably even just put some alcohol on on a baby wipe or a paper towel and just like completely wipe it off and start all over again. Honestly, it's going to stain the paper. So you should probably stay in the same color families, but it won't nearly be it's not ruined is what I'm trying to say. This one was like the bomb.com. This one is where I really kind of like found that sweet spot for how long to wait. And it just looks so cool. Like I can't get over how cool it looks. But anyway, so back to this camera situation. Nope, I'm not back to this camera situation. Whew, things are moving fast in this video. So basically, because I had all of that purple that got on there, and then I realized that I put the green on too much. Basically, what I did was, because I am cheap, guys, I'm cheap. There's like how many pieces there's 5. There's 5 gold foil transfer sheets in this. And look at, like, there was so much gold foil left on this. I'm like, I am not pitching this thing unless I absolutely have to. So I did exactly what I'm telling you. I put some alcohol on a baby wipe, and then I just cleaned off the back of it, and it totally worked. So it was stained, but I did not notice any of the color transferring when I used it. So it must just be, like it reactivated because there was so much ink on the back. I didn't really notice any transferring from here on out once I really cleaned off the back. So anyway, moving on back to this camera thing with the straw. Basically, I had to like work around the PVC pipe in order to blow on the straw. So part of the time, my head is blocking it. So there'll be times where I'm going to cut out, just because I don't want you to have to look at the back of my head for like a full-blown minute. Nobody wants to look at my blonde hair for that long. Anywho, so I made 9 cards. I have no idea how Jennifer McGuire makes so many cards in every single one of her videos. I mean, the woman is a superhero, because this took me 3 different days of filming to make all of these cards. and I didn't work on anything else. Like that's it. That's all I worked on was those 9 cards. So these ones, these alcohol ink backgrounds, that's why there's going to be 2 videos. I wanted to show you everything I did to create the cards. You know that I'm not a fan of videos that cut out things that I feel like I wanted to see, and so I try not to do that to you guys. But for this one, I had to split it. So this video is still like 18 minutes long. If I had left in the coloring, I mean, not even kidding, guys, we would have been spending an hour together. So I'm just showing you the backgrounds here. And because I am not necessarily always the sharpest tool in the shed, I didn't show you all of the backgrounds when they were done. Probably because it was like 5 o'clock in the morning and I was exhausted and I finally had to just call it and move on with my life, which meant going to the sleeping place. So I am going to show you the cards that I made at the end, and you will be able to see the backgrounds and how I use them. And then either later on this evening or tomorrow, I will put up the full video that shows all of the Pretty Pink Posh products, the sentiments and flowers that I used to create these cards. Because I just wanted to show you kind of the full process here. So it was a lot of work. I spent a lot of time. Ultimately, I really do like the way that they came out, and I was actually kind of proud of myself because I don't usually know how to use backgrounds like this. This is not in my wheelhouse. So they all came out a little bit different. I learned a couple of different things, but I would definitely encourage you to try this for, you could buy a pack of like the 3 alcohol inks and the gold foil and the Yupo paper, and you're good to go, and you can make bunches and bunches and bunches of backgrounds. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and then I will catch you on the next video, which I will link, by the way, on YouTube, just so you can find it easy. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.